The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Why you talk about tanks? 31 tanks. You treat this like it's an accomplishment. 31 tanks is like a stocking stuffer from Santa to the jabroni Zelensky. 31 tanks. Kevin, I'm proud to say I have 10,000 classified U.S. documents. I lose your game show. Kevin, you ever work Russia for the wrestling? You ever work over here?
No.
Okay. Well, you want to come? You could be my guest. Okay. I like your show.
I might like to ride horses with you. That seemed like that'd be a good time. Maybe with our shirts off, something like that.
Yes, through the countryside, the coastal areas of northern Russia. You know, you come here, I give you what we call U.S. presidential package. That is.
No, I don't want a golden shower.
I was going to say five course dinner, Cuban cigars, and 4 prostitutes piss on you.
I'm cool.
Yes. You know, Kevin, I watched a lot of wrestling in the 70s. A lot, but I also have questions. Maybe you help me with this questions about American culture from watching this. Why can't you headbutt Bobo Brazil, JYD, S.T. Jones, Tony Atlas, or Rocky Johnson? Why this is true? Another question. If you're from Fiji or Samoa, why the fuck can't you wear boots? I mean, you know, to the fucking ring. They're not allowed to buy?
These are questions that are above my pay grade.
Maybe I ask my comrade Vince, find out why. Also, you know, I was thinking about this. Before Wendy Richter, why did every woman wrestler look like my tailor Igor? I don't know. All right, I have to take this call. This is my American comrade Donald. He wants to trade 2 sons for 6 goats and a yak. I'm going to turn it down.
No, go through heifer.
You never know who's going to be here.
Unbelievable.
You never know who's going to be here.
Our call-in fucking, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we keep that feed open, and you never know who the hell's going to show up. Kliq This.
Speaking about the game show, though, we had a loser.
We had a loser this week.
Yes, they went through, the FBI went through Biden's beach house, no classified documents. But they did do they took some handwriting, some letters that he had handwritten out of his office. So we still got the 72-hour clause where we still might get them.
The bonus round, I think you referred to that.
Yes, that's the double or nothing.
Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. He's Kevin. I'm Sean. We're here with you. Did you watch some playoffs? Watch NFC, AFC championship games?
Yeah, got it. But they did such a deal on the Purdy thing, you know. Hasn't missed it down. First fucking play, Tommy John UCL, and now he's out. Now, I mean, he'll be out for the year. You got, you know, and then today, Brady said he's definitely retiring, but I'm thinking, I don't know, man. It seems to me like that they were saying that the Purdy's, there's no place for him in San Francisco because Purdy's going to be there. Purdy's gone now.
Right.
He ain't coming back. He won't be throwing the ball for a while. So, boom.
Yeah, there it is. And that was, I mean, it was part of my parlay. I had Purdy to do something.
I had
number of
him
receptions.
to mimic a JFK and back into the left.
Yeah. Well, that was that. So how about a Super Bowl pick? Who's going over?
I just like the fact you put in the 4-string guy and he gets a concussion. I mean, talking about just
Yeah, it wasn't in the
No.
cards.
No.
It wasn't in the cards.
no. I actually looked at. I think it was a October 6th tweet that I put out after watching the Eagles, and it said that Eagles have absolutely like no weaknesses. So, and I still think offensive and defensive line I give to the Eagles. But I mean the quarterback spot, yeah. I mean that was when did I put that on? October 16th. Eagles have zero weaknesses. Imagine them being in the Super Bowl. I'm like Jimmy the Greek, except not a racist. But yeah, this is it started as a pick'em. I want to think that
What's it at now? Let me see.
I thought maybe Kansas City plus 2.5.
I'm going to open my DraftKings app and see what we are looking at here. So if it was a pick'em, what do we got here? All right, so 1.5.
Well, that does you a lot of goodness in a fucking game. 1.5 is what you get when you bet baseball.
Yeah, it's nothing.
You get a run and
Why
a
bother?
half.
Why bother? So
So it's a pick 'em. So
the over-under's 50. That's high.
not for Super Bowl. Both the offenses are
Yeah, but those
Jalen Hurts didn't show me much that last game. You know, he didn't. But
I have to look at
that 49ers is. If I had to go right now, I'm not going to bet against Mahomes.
Right. I was going to say I would take that 1.5. I think.
Yeah, but you know, they've got some. They're banged up. I think everybody's banged up at this time.
Yeah. Well, they get an extra week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Those of you watching, it will be this week. So
The line for the injectable Torador will be through the window.
some feedback from last week's show. Let's talk to Race Chavez Plays. Another Monday morning with the boys. Much love, guys. Hearing Kevin mention Strongville and Cleveland Indians games makes me wonder how familiar he is with Youngstown, Ohio, and its surrounding areas. Have a good week, gentlemen. Youngstown, Ohio. Hometown of Ray Boom Boom Mancini, I believe.
We used to, I think LeBron.
Is it? Okay.
He's an Akron boy, isn't he? LeBron's Akron. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Youngstown. Youngstown State, we used to wrestle there. It was one of the, I mean, just for ambiance, it was a gym, and it had those, like, lights that it takes, like, 15 minutes to warm up.
Oh, yeah.
So when you walked in, it was like you were there for a high school or a college basketball game. So there was no, real feel. That was always a Sunday afternoon shot.
How many people could you put in there?
I don't know, maybe 40, 45.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's a Mid-American. It was a Mid-American conference at the time. I don't know if Youngstown State's still Mid-American, but
I'm going to ask you later about some venues. We had a fan tweet us, and that's what actually gave me the idea for the second segment this week about the shittiest venues having to work. So I pulled up your 95, your championship year there, and I want to go through some venues with me, and we'll see if we can whittle down.
Youngstown and Valparaiso was both the same thing. Those kind of same deals where the people were good, but just the field was the shits.
Gotcha. Daddy Vader. I'm sorry, Leonard Lorenz. Let's do Leonard. Love you guys. Keep it up. Your videos keep me going when times are tough. I love Corny and Eric's podcast, but you guys have become my favorites. Such chill vibes and great stories. Thank you. We just went over Corny and Eric in a very lopsided tag team match. I could have probably taken Corny. You would have had to tie up Eric for the submission or the pin. Daddy Vader, last week you talked about discipline and getting punished by your parents. Wanted to say my grandma smacked me across the face at Disneyland and knocked 2 teeth out. Learned my lesson and got Mickey ears to shut the fuck up. Love you, Nash. Enjoy the laugh. How about getting 2 fucking teeth knocked out at Disneyland? That's something you don't come back from as a kid. That's a memory that you're keeping.
No, that's one of those deals where fucking 3 years later, when on Sunday night when the Wild World, the Disney comes on and Tinkerbell does the thing over the Magic Kingdom and the fireworks go off, you're underneath the couch.
Exactly.
I'm not taking
Trigger
another
City.
shot. Yeah.
How about the fucking stiff that the grandmother had to knock fucking teeth out for
She had
an
to go
open hand?
She had to go backhand. That's a knuckle job.
Or brass knucks.
Oh,
Or rings or something.
yeah.
Pseudonym. Hey, fellas. Love the podcast every week while I'm working my 9 to 5. Right now, I'm listening to Kev talking about tanks with a great amount of insight. Kevin, may I suggest a movie for you? Watch The Pentagon Wars, starring Carrie Elways and Kelsey Grammer. It gets into the minutia of bureaucracy inside the Pentagon surrounding the Bradley fighting vehicle. It's a comedy, something that might be up your alley. Great podcast. You have a listener for life. You ever hear of it? Pentagon Wars?
No, I haven't, but I'll definitely watch it. I remember somebody told I was reading a couple comments. Somebody said that the Bradleys took out more tanks than the Abrams did. I think we made it a point that the Warthogs took out 90% of the tanks, and whatever was left was left. And I don't think that the Bradleys firing toes knocked out any more than. I mean, there was one tank battle that an Abrams took out 9 Russian tanks in one battle. So it's like, I didn't realize this, that the Ukrainians have T-60, maybe 64s. So it's before the T-72, and they're smaller, more nimble, but they have a higher firing rate, so they can fire quicker. So what they did in the first 2 battles they had with the Russians was they would get inside close quarters, like in the woods, and outmaneuver them, and then could with their ability to fire so many more rounds than the Russian tanks could actually blow them up. Thus, the pictures we see on the news of the rusted Russian tanks lying in heaps. So I guess they're getting ready for another big offensive.
That's what we hear.
Yeah,
That's what we hear. They've said it. So
yeah.
Now, do your knowledge, your tank knowledge, and all that, is that just from being in the service, or do you read up like now? Do you read books about military and war and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I watched I think it's Netflix has a 3 or 4 part series on the tanks. Like I'll watch anything on it. Any channel that's got some war shit on it, I'll watch.
Okay.
Not that I'm some like warmonger or anything. I just think it's. I like strategy. I like, I've read like Patton's books. I've read Rommel's books. I've read different generals' books. That just I read Schwarzkopf's
Jimmy
book.
Johnson's book right now. Great book about strategy, by the way. Jimmy Johnson's Swagger.
Pat Riley's was a good book.
Which one, Winter Within, or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. That was like in the 90s. So the Pentagon Wars. Thank you for the suggestion, Kevin's. That's going to be Kevin's early evening viewing at about midnight tonight.
I got to take my wife. My wife's got to get eye surgery tomorrow, so I got to have her there at 7:15. Fuck.
So you'll just stay up. You called me at 7:15 yesterday, and you're like, thinking about hitting bed in a few minutes. Wanted to tell you something first. Bedtime story, 7:15. Is she okay? The eye surgery? Is it?
Oh yeah, no. It's we both have. I had cataract surgery last year,
Okay.
and she's starting to get a little cloudy, and I just said, just go get the retractive lens surgery. Both your eyes will be 20/20. Throw those fucking glasses away.
That's the
Move
laser
on.
deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. John Burgoyne. Sean, do you have any interesting stories to share about busting shoplifters? Anyone taken to a room out back and have their fingers smashed with a hammer a la casino? Please share. So, of course, there's stories. Nothing like that. Like the guys that we got and arrested, and they let us handle that with the police. But the characters I worked for, so I can't, I'm not going to do the name thing, but all right, there's a judge. I wanted to tell one story that I'll give you. There was a judge. He has since passed. He was probably 65 or 70 back then. So the first time I have to go in a courtroom to represent my boss's chain of supermarkets, I go and I step up, and this judge, a character, very animated. Like I had to watch like 3 people go before him before it was our turn, and it would be like he'd sit there like this, and someone would read the charges, like so-and-so destroying property. He'd go, Jesus Christ, what did you do that for? He's like screaming at them, real character. So he was actually attacked at a pizzeria, hit with a chair by somebody, I guess somebody he sentenced to a term the person didn't like. Anyway, so this judge, now I step up, and he goes, he looks at me, he goes, you need to call? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm just here for the name of the chain. He's like, yeah, but did you? I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. So, the prosecutor calls me over and he says, go call so and so. This is one of the supervisors of the supermarket chain. I said, well, where? This was the pre-cell phone era. So the judge goes, use my chambers. Go use the phone. Tell me what he says. So I go and I call this district manager type, and I said, Don, I'm in the judge's court. He said, yeah, tell him to give him blah 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 and blah blah blah. I'm like, tell the judge? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right. So apparently you're supposed to call my boss beforehand to find out what the judge is supposed to sentence the person to that just stole from him. So I come out. The judge is standing there waiting for me. He goes, what did he say? Who'd you talk to? I said, I talked to Don, and he said whatever the hell it was. He goes, okay. He turns around. Now everyone can hear this. It's like a sham. Everyone can hear this. This was not a private sidebar conversation. He turns around. He looks at this fucking guy and sentences him to exactly what I just said when I walked out of the judge's chambers after being on the phone. True story. That's what it was like working for those guys.
Nothing like a little northeastern justice.
Nothing like a little northeast justice. What power? I could have come out and said that Don said anything.
Yeah. Electric chair.
Exactly.
All
Firing
right.
squad. Right on Bergen Line Avenue. The Batman Now says, haha, please keep the Ask Sexy segment. It's Dear Sexy. Please, get it right. As a Florida man who recently relocated to New England, I get too depressed and confused. Oh, it's N-E, so it could be Nebraska. Florida man maybe relocated to Nebraska. I get too depressed and confused. Oh no, that would be north and south. Maybe that's what he's going for. Haha. For real tough. For real though. Golden stuff from you all. Keep up the great work. Thank you, the Batman.
I like the one some guy said, you NASA's joined the rest of the has-beens. Talking about, like, I think to myself, like, yeah, So number one jackass. His name was J. He just put J down. I said I sent him a text back. I actually replied to him. I said number one. I said I sit in my condo and I get paid. I said that's number one. I said number two. I said I'd rather be a has-been than an ever been, but then again, you know that. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, really, man? Like, you think that affects me? So.
I don't know why you even sell it, man.
Oh, I'm not selling it. I just wanted to tell him go fuck himself on this.
Robert Abishola. Another thing that makes this podcast stand out from others is the detailed timestamps. All right, so there you go. Most podcasts don't use them because they are worried most people will skip over the commercials. If the hosts are as talented and funny like Sean and Kevin, you want to watch the ad reads too. Meltzer would rate this podcast 5 stars, 6 if it was in Japanese.
Exactly.
Well done. Did you watch Raw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Were you paid to watch Raw?
No. I watched Raw. I didn't watch the Rumble because I would have gotten beaten by my wife. But
Everyone put it over that I talked to or that I read.
Yeah. I mean that people like the Rumble. What somebody what was the guy that came out he was
Santos came out. Oh no. Well,
no, no, it's Gunther, right? Gunther was the guy that was left with Cody.
Oh, the final, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that?
And Cody came out number
Walter, Gunther, Walter. I'm sorry, but somebody said on one of the comments, he said, "I'd like to see Nash sell one of his chops." Well, obviously you didn't listen to the show because I don't fucking sell chops, and I don't fucking let you fucking chop me. So you would have chopped my forearm. I'm sure that would have felt fucking good across. Like, yeah, like, no, I ain't doing that. I saw, it was an NWA clip, and it was Masters was fighting Murdoch. And they do kind of this cool thing where they throw a punch and then follow it with a chop, throw a punch, follow it with a chop. That actually looked like, I watched that and I was just like, okay, I can live with that. I can live with that because you're selling the punch and the chop is just like getting another blow in. So that made sense to me. So Masters and Murdoch, kudos. I thought that was a nice little piece of work.
What am I looking at here?
Yeah, that was. If we could get to where they're chopping and punching, but see if you can we use that, Steve?
Probably not, right? I don't know. Can you
If we
blur
get
it? Can you blur it, maybe?
No, you just if we could
After
get
the
just,
fact?
if we could just get to the point where they're just doing that little exchange. Thank you, sir.
So the Rumble, yeah, I think people do kind of dig the Rumble as far as the gimmick matches go. And now, what about sending Cody out? What number did he go? He
30.
It was at 30. I couldn't remember if it was 20.
Which I think that, seeing as a babyface, fuck, man, you're coming back from an injury, and Walter's won. He's been out there the whole fucking time. He goes through all these guys, and then, it's, you know, because that gives that guy cut a promo saying, you know, you're the fucking golden boy. You know, you came out 30th. They're pushing you. And look at that. You had to go 15 minutes to win. You know, so they do set themselves up for that, you know, that situation.
Right. What about the main event for WrestleMania? We were talking a little bit before the show, and you know, it's 4 months.
Yeah.
Or well, three, like three in a week, or whatever.
February.
It's months. You got to carry.
No,
this for months
it's 2 months. It's 2 months. In March.
Is it the end of March? Okay.
End of March, first. I mean, end of March, 1st of April. I know that I'm going out there the last 2 days of March.
So,
See if Walter will chop me.
so Rhodes goes over Gunther, and so now he's gonna earn himself the championship match at, what are we up to, 39 now? WrestleMania 39. Holy fuck! That shit makes me feel old. This is like Super Bowl 92 or something. But so how do you do this over 2 months? This is always the thing about booking that fascinated me: the patience, keeping the heat right for the fans, but not giving away the farm.
One of the things that I thought was actually very brilliant was to put the elimination chamber in between, so the matches that they had on Monday night were to qualify for the elimination chamber. So they didn't just have a bunch of matches following it. They had, like, the matches were to get into the elimination chamber. The elimination chamber gets that last spot at WrestleMania. So it still gives Seth, it gives, I mean, you still get a prestigious, upper tier match out of that. Now, I hate to fucking toot my horn. I really do. But I have had,
Someone's got to do it.
I've had a good career, and I don't know this for a fact, but I was in the first elimination chamber in Phoenix, and I'm quite sure I was the first person eliminated. So I'm going to go down in records as the first person ever eliminated in an elimination chamber match. So to me, when
This
you
is going to be on Jeopardy someday. This is amazing trivia.
when you look back at it, it's what is it? It's an elimination chamber. Well, it was the first one. I fucking thought you should get eliminated because it's an elimination chamber. I thought I won the thing. I find out, no, you got to stay in it. I'm like, well, why would you call it an elimination chamber if you got to stay in it? And I got out of it.
You didn't have any documents either, so
No.
you just lost.
Is it just me, or do I feel like I'm under fucking trial for that whole Rust movie the way I'm looking today?
You have a little bit.
I got a Baldwin thing going today, don't I?
Any actor that was ever handed a fucking gun that was told it was cold and had to use it in a film should be hot pissed and very vocal about this.
My whole thing is this: they said, well, he didn't go to the whatever the seminar on well, the fucking bitch that gave the seminar is the one that's got live ammo on set. So okay, you probably stopped from shooting somebody else by going to that motherfucking thing. And then
There is no gun safety clinic that could ever happen
if
where if there's a live round in a gun.
What the fuck? And then they're saying, well, he's got his hand on the trigger, and you're showing a close up of him with his hand on the trigger. I don't know if that's if he was told to shoot directly at the fucking camera. I'm sorry, like I've said it before.
Who's this prosecutor? Who's this prosecutor? What's that story? I want to know who this is.
Okay. Gee, what did Baldwin do for 3 years on Saturday Night Live?
I was going to say this is Saturday Night Live bullshit.
Yeah,
just the statement I heard, like no one's above the law.
Yeah.
What the fuck? He was handed a gun and told it was cold, a prop gun, in a Western.
I have never been on a fucking set where fucking. Okay, everybody, let's check our ammo now. That motherfucker that stabbed me, I got stabbed by that knife. Nobody checked that motherfucker. That is, and I don't put that on Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane was handed that knife, and he stabbed me with it, and it was supposed to retract, and it didn't. So
yeah,
and I blame that fat bitch on Rust for that too.
And I also blame Spectrum Cable. You're a little fuzzy, you're a little choppy tonight, Kevin. I have to tell you, you have to make a call like I did to the cable. No. But you know what? I wasn't as fit as I am now, and I can thank FITBOD for that. And maybe that's why they weren't
the hot moms weren't moving into my neighborhood. They had heard that I was there. There it is. There's the app. I love that app. The interface is so simple. This was not a New Year's resolution for me. Okay, I downloaded this. I started using this. I have my. If I showed you the other side of the studio here, the goddamn machine is right here. I even have a treadmill here. And so I wanted something. I didn't want the gym membership again. This is a pain in the ass to me, getting driving to the gym. You could certainly do that, but I wanted to use the equipment I had here. I put it into this app, the FITBOD app, and it created a workout for me. I put in what I wanted from it, what I expected. It tracks my progress. It changes. It's an intelligent design that way, okay? FITBOD's algorithm changes. It updates my fitness plan, and it can do the same for you if you want to look like me. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. All right, and the great thing about it is the cost. This is ridiculous. Okay, you're gonna get 25% off from us, and I'm gonna tell you how to do that in a couple of seconds here. But like the cost of a full year of FITBOD, the app, is less than a single session with a personal trainer. Okay, and I also don't want a personal trainer standing there judging me. This is the perfect way to do it for me, okay? And I think it's going to be for you as well. The app switches up your exercises to avoid overtraining and burnout. It keeps it fresh and keeps it doable for folks like me and you, okay? Changes based on your personal progress for maximized results. Here's what I want you to do. Fitbod.me. Fitbod, FITBOD.me/Kliq, Kliq. Okay, you're going to get 25% off your subscription. Go try it. Fitbod.me/Kliq. Tell us your stories, show us your videos, and look, learn how to do movements the right way. Movements are an important part of this. Kevin will tell you that, okay, whether you're pumping iron or whatever. Movement, turning your wrists the right way, you know, just these are important things. 1,400 HD demonstration videos in this app. Okay, you want to talk about technique? That's how you're going to get it. Fitbod.me/Kliq. Thank you, Fitbod, for joining the revolution here. You are lit up. I felt I was too red. I went to the doctor because I thought my head was too red the other day. The head on my shoulder.
Oh.
By the way. Yeah, I wanted to clarify. A little blue chew, too much blue chew. Took 3 packs. No, I'm concerned about my blood pressure. I have to say that. But one's head shouldn't be too red.
Go to your. How often do you get a physical? How often do you get your blood done?
Do this.
Don't be that guy.
I'll do it now.
Kid, Jesus.
I've always
went to the
been
doctor.
healthy.
I went to the doctor yesterday. You know what my blood pressure was? 121/70.
That's great.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to the fucking doctor yesterday to make sure that I was going to live a long life. TMZ.
No wellness calls needed when you do that kind of stuff.
TMZ, gargle my balls on your way down my shaft.
Did you see the story about 3 Detroit rappers?
Yeah, I'm missing.
Let me bring this up here for a second. So, 10 days. Okay. Multiple agencies are now looking for them. Okay. After a performance was canceled. Okay, so they were supposed to perform at a club in Detroit on the 21st, and the quote from the law enforcement official of the Major Crimes Unit said, "It's our understanding the performance got canceled, and from there we just have a whole lot of unanswered questions we're trying to find out." The mother of one of the victims the next day made a report for the missing person. They searched her vehicle through OnStar, right? So the mom finds the car in Warren, Michigan. Now, where is this in relation to Detroit, Kevin?
It's suburban.
So, like, what, within a half hour?
Yeah.
All right. And that's it. Just off the face of the earth. 3 rappers. So if anyone out there has seen them, please contact authorities. Never heard of them. I wasn't necessarily a fan of their music, I guess, but just struck me.
Memphis this past week, and Tyree Nichols. I think that the city of Memphis needs to be commended for a few things in the handling of this. First of all, body camera footage. Remember when this stuff would go down and they'd say, well, we're conducting an internal investigation, which would go on for like 11 weeks, right? With body camera footage now on police officers, the investigation's very simple. You watch the fucking footage, and then you see what happened. So 7 officers have been relieved, right?
My thing is, though, do we get the proper picture of what really went down if we don't have the eye in the sky? Video number 4 off the telephone pole. Because they kept saying, get your hands behind your back, get your hands behind your back on the body cam. And when it coincided with the telephone pole, his hands were behind his back, cuffed, and they were punching him in the head. So,
which you wouldn't have seen on the body cam footage because you're tussling with someone on the floor.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, it's just like, and the thing is too, like every one of those guys they showed their mugshot, it seemed like they were all like 6'2". Like that. There was, I mean, you know, Sharpton at his funeral said, you know, 5 blocks from here, you know, they shot Martin Luther King dead. And basically 5 blocks from there is where they beat that black man to death. And that's just so fucked up. What was the number we talked about before the show? How many people the police killed? 1,132?
1,176, I think, was the number.
1,100. So three people a day are being killed by our police officers. Now, granted, you know, there was the kid in fucking Target 2 days ago that they had to, right. I mean, I'm on top of all that, there's nobody that's got a fucking worse job in the world, unless you teach 6th graders, besides a cop.
Oh, they're going to say someone at Target, stocking shelves at Target. No, well, you mean the cops. Okay.
Yeah, the cops have the worst job on earth. And if you're worried about it's broken and it's this and it's that, well, are you really going to fucking get up in the morning and put body armor on and grab a 9mm and do all this shit and make $50,000 an hour? I mean, $50,000 a year?
Well,
like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta jack up the teachers' salaries. You gotta jack up our police and fire. All first responders should be paid more. And they were talking.
No one wants to pay the taxes.
But they were. You know what?
Municipal taxes. You might, but most people don't.
When I was a kid, the police used to sell fucking candy bars. You know, whatever you got to do to get more money. But they were saying, like, some countries, like in Norway, where you've got like a year, you know, that you have to be trained before you become a police officer. And in most areas in the United States, it's, you know, 12, 16 weeks. And it's just... Watching that, number one, it was a traffic stop, and you can hear in his voice, like, what I'm dude, like I'm on my back. Like, you really going for this, man? Like he's like, what the fuck? And then on top of all that, the white dude tases him. He takes off and is smart enough to disrobe what the barbs where he's getting shocked. He takes off. Well, I heard a story. I hate to be the rumor mill, but I heard a story that the gentleman that they killed was involved with one of the police officers a girlfriend or somebody that they had in their lives at some point, and because it sure is funny that when you watch the tape, he runs past the front of his car and takes a left up that street. The next undercover charger is coming the opposite way of their cars. They send it up that road. So why would you send a car up that road when the dude clearly took a left in the road in front of you, unless you knew exactly who that was and you were going to go get him because you know where he was going? And then then another person, and this is all rumors and bullshit, and I hate to be that guy, but you got to look into it. Somebody said that his brother was messed with 5-6 days earlier by that same group of cats and got held down and got a gun stuck to his head.
A gunpoint, right? Yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah, so it's just they had a group years ago when I was living in Atlanta. I was working at the Cheetah, and they were called the Red Dogs, and they worked Techwood, and all the guys were big boys.
They were police officers? It was like a unit in the force?
Yeah, drug and violent crime, and they had to disband them guys. Those guys were cracking heads. When you get a bunch of dudes that are being basically chosen, like I said, they're all 6'2". If you're going to look like the offensive line from Philadelphia, I don't think you're getting them to de-escalate.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got it. Yeah. And that's New York. Every city that has these task forces, I'll call them, and I guess they're an informal division of detectives or police officers that are sent into certain areas to handle a specialized segment of crime. New York, it was called what was it? Street crimes. It was called, and they had that was the frisk, the stop and frisk policy, which all they had to say was, "I suspect somebody has a gun," and that was license enough to toss them, as they say. I think they've since disbanded that. I think the current mayor was talking about bring it back in a modified form. But I just wanted to say something about that number 1176. And you said in no way are we saying that 1,176 people that were killed by police officers in the United States, that they were all, or even a majority were unjustified, I'm sure. But that frightening number of 1,176 people shot and killed by police officers in this country, you have to have the larger gun discussion, don't you? I mean, it always comes back to this because you mentioned the guy in Target. Yeah, that'll be one of those. Well, it'll be in this year's data, but whoever that was last year, because there were plenty of those, that was one of that 1176. As was the dude, beating the shit out of his girlfriend that comes to the door armed. They're dropping him, obviously. So you have to have the larger discussion about guns when you look at that 1176. In no way does it suggest that it's
yeah, but these five
that
cops
it's
just beat the fuck out with their fists, a baton, and
this instance, absolutely.
And they kicked. How about the fucking dude that kicks him in the head twice, and then fucking goes and sells his shin for the rest of the film? He kicked him so fucking hard. He kicks him. The first one he fucking lays it in. The second one's kind of a not. And then he fucking walks around and sells the kick like, man, I fucked my shin up. Are you kidding me? And then now they're all standing around going, yeah, man, he went for my gun. He went for my gun too. Yeah, I think he had a laser beam on him. Yeah, I thought I saw a laser beam on him too. Those motherfuckers knew that their shit was fried. And then those paramedics that came, Jesus.
I was just going to say,
what the fuck was that?
Even more bizarre were the EMTs that walked up, looked down. I think they said like sit up, wake up, you okay? And for like 7 minutes or whatever the time, did nothing.
8 or 9. And how about this? How about the fact that once you beat the fucking somebody to basically in a coma, can we not maybe just at some point maybe cuff him in front so when the EMTs do get there and they have to put him on a stretcher that he's not on his rotator cuffs? Or you could be like those assholes that put the guy face down and asphyxiated him. That was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that whole thing went through. It's just like drop a bunch of 60 IQ motherfuckers into an area and give them immunity and see how that fucking turns out.
Yeah. Interesting thing you mentioned about the story here with the girlfriend or female friend, and I hadn't heard that, but it would explain why 5 officers who really could have had this under control went to that length.
Especially when
that was the thing I couldn't figure out.
When you're standing him up, and I mean, it looked like they were beating him into a fucking gang, is what it looked like. I mean, it looked like a beat in.
Right.
Not a beat down. It looked like a beat in. Like
right.
Fucking like
the initiation.
You know, the fucking hooks to the head, and I mean, it's just like. And my son got pulled over and got fucking roughed up, you know, when he was 15 years old, and he never recovered from that. And it's just like, thank God they didn't, you know. Once they got his license and figured out that he was, you know, he had long hair and everything else, you know. Thank God they didn't. But then they took him to the police station that didn't have juvenile facilities, and handcuffed him in a restroom to a fucking sink.
Wow.
Yeah, me and my wife go pick him up, and he's like, "Oh, he's in here. There's nothing to worry about. He was just drinking." Oh, just drinking as opposed to smoking a bone where you guys would have pulled him over for going 7 miles an hour. Like, Jesus.
Handcuffed to a sink in the bathroom.
Yeah, sitting on the floor.
Is that in Daytona?
Port Orange.
Wow. That's hot shit. Well, be more of this in the news to come, and more talks about reforms, and I don't even know if it's a larger discussion about reform when you've got. I mean, we know there were reforms needed.
Well, they got rid of the police chief.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't a training flaw. This isn't lack of training. This is a
violent society.
Absolutely.
It's what we've done is we've all taken the biggest pit bull we can, stuck it in the smallest cage, fed it as little as possible, put it on a short leash, and then when we take it out to the dog park and we let all the fucking pit bulls loose and they all fucking tear each other apart, we go, I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Mm-hmm. There are things that departments can do, and I think we've talked about it. More mental health training. There's a very good documentary on HBO. I'll put it over again. It's called Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops. I actually had Ernie on my solo podcast a couple of years ago. I watched the documentary on HBO, and I just reached out to him. It was about 2 cops in San Antonio Police Force, and they are like they're beat cops. They're regular cops. But they have highly specialized, training in mental health disorders. So when a call comes in, instead of just sending the cavalry, these are 2 of the guys that respond. So they're trained how to talk and how to de-escalate, right? That's the key, de-escalating the situations. And this documentary, I caught this documentary right after the George Floyd thing, and I wanted to have them on because I just thought it was such a great resource. There's something like 90 hours of firearm training in the police academy and like 10 in mental health and mental health crises that they would have to deal with. So just that disproportionate focus speaks volumes.
You know, when I was trained at the Military Police Academy, the one thing that we spent the most time on is, and it's probably one of the most volatile situations you'll ever get into as a police officer, is a domestic.
Yes, right.
I mean, because the first thing you do is you go in and you separate. As far as possible, you separate. Because if you start handcuffing him and you turn your back on her, she's going to stick a steak knife in you.
Yeah.
You're not taking her husband. It's just, those things can turn, it's just, it's a horrible job. Memphis is a rough city. But my whole thing is, why is the tactical violent crime unit making a routine traffic stop?
I don't have an answer. I guess.
They pulled that kid out of that car like he was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what the fuck?
What was the violation that they pulled him over for?
Well, they said it was reckless driving. They said he was going the wrong way into traffic, yet his car was perfectly in the turn lane with the turn signal on. No dash cam of any of this reckless driving. None of that shit. Nothing to prove their. That's the whole thing. They knew his car, they knew his tag. He stopped, and man, once he takes that left, he's basically home.
Right.
So we better jump on this shit now.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting if anything materializes along those lines. If he was targeted for a personal thing, I wonder. We shall see. We shall see.
You know what? I hope that there's something at least that diabolical, and it's just not those that were, because it's, instead of police just going to say, pretty soon Lord of the Flies on the side of the car.
Right. Well, that's the thing, that it's not some diabolical just loss of control in society. And but I don't know. I mean, what do we root for in that? It's just a lose-lose. It's horrible. It's horrible to think that over a girl you'd have 5 police officers who took an oath, who were supposed to, carry out their jobs and, service the community, that they went on a vendetta hunt. So I mean, that's awful.
I just can't believe that at some point somebody's inner being just didn't fucking, like when they were holding him up and punching him, somebody didn't walk over and go, what the fuck are we doing?
Right. No, but like, nobody there goes, okay, guys.
It's like that. It's the movie with Casualties of War with Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, yeah.
And they're raping that Vietnamese girl, and fucking Michael J. Fox is like, what the fuck? Fucking animals? Like, somebody's got to be a human. Mm-hmm.
Understood. Agreed. But we're not going to solve the world's problems in one session here on Kliq This, goddammit, Kevin. So that means it's time for the stiff one of the week. We have to move forward here. And our stiff one this week is brought to us by our friends at Athletic Greens, AG1. A drink I enjoy every morning. A supplement I enjoy every morning. That is our partner here. I literally use it every day. Started taking it. I wanted to get my stomach in order here. I needed to start my day right, and that's what I do. My routine is the AG1. Someone was talking about the taste. I saw one of the comments about this. I am telling you that this tastes good. All right, so no debate needed. I just wouldn't mention it if it didn't. Right? It's a sponsor. But it really tastes great. I look forward to having it every morning, okay? Digestion issues, even just energy, this is a great way to start the day. When I drink this, I know I'm getting optimal nutrition first thing in the morning. 1 scoop of AG1 into the water, and you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to start your day right. This blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, even aging. Okay? Sustainable routines are key, and AG1 is my daily little micro habit. Makes it easy to absorb key nutrients. I'd have to pop 7 pills to get all this, okay? One great tasting drink, and I am rolling. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water, that's it. No need for pills or anything else to supplement you. To make this easy, we want you to try this. We want you to get on board here with our friends at Athletic Greens. So we're going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Kliq, Kliq. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Kliq to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you, Athletic Greens. For the stiff one of the week, we're going to go to Paul Anka. Remember Paul Anka?
Yes.
Okay. Well, somebody had a hot mic backstage after a show, and Paul was a little upset with the band for not cutting off as they were supposed to on My Way, which, I mean, Sinatra's famous for having sung it, but it was actually written by Paul Anka, and I guess he used to do it in concert. And so here's Paul on a secret mic. I guess someone in the band was rolling some device, because this is old. It wasn't a cell phone. This is the ages before that. And here's Paul Anka talking to the band about their cutoffs.
Absolutely. All right. Now, what are we going to do about My Way? When I'm walking around waiting and waiting, and then you finally give it, and where was everybody cutting off with you?
I don't know. Evidently they were watching you where they should have been watching me.
Well, but you were doing it.
I did it.
What's it going to be, guys? Who are you watching?
I suggest they watch me. I'll watch you.
But you were the only one to watch.
Absolutely.
But let me ask you this. A pilot is in a plane and he's landing. He not only looks at his instrument, but he looks at the fucking runway to make sure it's there. What do you look at? Who are you watching? Where were you guys on the end of My Way? Graham, what happened?
I was late because I usually watch you on that. And
if I'm not doing anything, and he throws. Do you remember the last meeting where I said, "I'll bow, I'll do, take it, and end it"? Except for I'm not anyone, I'll give, I'm not anyone. Do y'all remember that? If my arms aren't up and he's the only one, why wouldn't you take it from him? What is the confusion on these endings?
I could listen to this all day. I love it.
I don't
The uncomfortable
get it.
silence.
You understand that? What's it going to be, guys? Do you want fucking Vinnie Falcone in front? Do you want me to go and get a conductor that'll sit and ride your asses? Is that what you want? Do you want your Joes? Where's Joe? I tell you, I want the band. Do you understand that? I want the fucking band, okay? There is a lot of loose shit going on, and I am telling you, you guys are on thin ice. All right? I'm telling you right now. And when I fucking move, I slice like a fucking hammer. You've seen it, and I'll do it again. When I tell you the band, you better look and make sure everybody's here when you walk in this room. I will not put up with this shit. You understand that? That's just the fucking way it is. Every one of your fucking checks cash with the amount on it. Do any of your checks bounce? Do y'all get full value on your money? I want full value on your fucking service. Do you hear me? You understand that? You guys have 3 fucking days to get it together. All of you head of your departments. Okay? The light and time.
Your checks bounce?
What is that doing over there on all the way to the
Your
middle,
checks
and then
bounce?
You shut it off. What is that all about?
That was a fuck up.
That was a fuck up. Yeah. I see that again. You're gone with the rest of them. Is that clear? That's just the way it is.
Thank you,
around.
Paul.
You understand that?
Thank you, Paul.
You know, if I was there, I'd just say, Put your head on my shoulder. It was one of his hits, right?
I'm sure. Was it him?
Yeah, that Puppy Love was one of his hits. And they called it Puppy Love. It was like his 50s. I'm telling you right now, if he's coming out with My Way and he's saying it, in fact, it's Frank and Elvis's song, motherfucker. You just shut up and sing it. I'll come in whenever the fuck I want to.
You know what else he wrote? He wrote that. You know what he got paid for every fucking night of his life? He wrote the instrumental opening for The Tonight Show. Ba-dum-bum-ba-na. How about that royalty?
Probably nothing back in those days.
Oh, I don't know. That's when people actually paid for shit. That's when advertisers paid.
Let's look up his net worth.
Oh, I don't know how accurate that is. Yeah.
Paul Anka's net worth.
What'd you get?
$80 million.
Not bad. Here we go.
Not bad
Is that
at
what you
all
got
with
too?
that,
So yeah, 80 mil. There you go.
Some say 90, some
albums.
say
Not
120.
bad.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Dear Sexy. Dear Abby, we took actual Dear Abby letters from the archives, and we are saying, what if Kevin was giving the general public advice?
I'm really taking this serious this week. I don't start seeing if I can maybe help one soul a week.
No big cock references, I guess.
I mean,
whatever
if
was
it's
last
needed,
week.
I mean,
if it's warranted, they get the 11 soft. Let's see. Dear Sexy, my son was married last month. Before the wedding, he asked me if I would contribute financially to the reception. I offered to pay for the drinks, and he and his fiancée seemed appreciative. The bride's parents are divorced, but they, too, have each contributed several $1,000s to the reception. A few days before the wedding, my son informed me that the total cost of the beverage bill comes to nearly $3,000. I wrote a check for that amount. My son's bride told my wife that there would be some extra charges. So I telephoned the accountant at the hotel to get the exact amount. The accountant informed me that there were no extra charges and the total bar bill was less than half the amount I contributed. My son refused to discuss the matter, so I sent the invoice from the hotel to him and his wife 2 weeks ago. Since then, there has been total silence on their end, and it looks like a cold relationship is developing. My wife says I should forget about the extra $1,700 since they probably needed the money for other expenses. I maintain there's an ethical issue here that shouldn't be swept under the rug. What do you think? Signed, Cheated Father in Wisconsin.
I mean, cheated if he didn't sit down and take a couple rails. I mean, obviously, that other money was the 8-ball money, but you know what? If that was my situation, and
right.
my I would just say, I at the end of the night will sit down and write a check right there on the spot, like none of this bullshit. Like when it's over with, you
But you already got worked. They already worked you for $1,700.
No, but it was 2 weeks afterwards, and he came, oh, Dad, there was some extra shit. I would have known because I would have sat down with whoever was in charge, got the total, wrote it, and then I'd have looked right at it. He'd have said, Dad, it's $1,700 more. I'd be, well, whatever the fuck. Our deal was I paid the bar tab got paid, go fuck yourself.
But clearly this schmuck didn't do that. So what does he do now? He's just he didn't take enough control early on, so he's out the money is what we're saying. Correct? That's what you're saying. He needs to fucking deal with it. He didn't sit there and look at the bar bill himself. He took his son and his dirtbag wife's word, and so now he's out the money.
Well, I mean,
simple.
No Christmas gifts for what. But
Work it off. Maybe the wife can work. Maybe the new daughter-in-law can work it off.
We're
going for new lows.
She seems complicit in this whole thing.
Correct.
Because her parent. I don't give a fuck if you're divorced or not. Fucking, it ain't the groom's job to pay for the shit. Because you know what? I'll bet fucking money the groom didn't go, honey, when are we gonna sit down and go over the wedding? Honey, when are we gonna sit down?
Let's go pick the invitations.
Yeah, let's pick the flowers. Let's pick the color scheme. You know what the guy says? What your mom and dad can't pay for? Let's go to fucking justice. Just get this shit done. That's what guy says. Nobody wants a fucking wedding. I didn't get. Remember when me and my wife got married? It was just like we're sitting there like going, okay, who are we gonna invite? I've got 220 fucking dancers that work at my club that tip me out. So if I invite one, I got to invite 220.
Did you? Because that would have been the best wedding ever.
Of course it would have been. But I just looked at it and I said, no, we're not having a wedding. My brother's wedding got all fucked up. It was like it caused turmoil for years, and I didn't want to overdo my brother's wedding, who was older than me. So I said to myself, my brother's wedding got fucked up. I'm not going to slide in and have the perfect wedding. So how about this? I'll go to the Justice. My buddy met us up there. And my wife and I went up to the Smoky Mountains, spent a couple days up there. I went back to work. She went back to school.
And she was okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody wants to have that wedding. But to me, it's almost the same thing as everybody wants to go to Harvard and fucking put it on, some kind of a loan. And then they realize when the time comes, like, oh, fuck, I got to pay for this? Like, fuck that.
What those envelopes are for.
Yeah, fuck.
Let's take a time out right now and tell everybody what I'm doing in my real life. SaveWithConrad.com. That's how I spend my days, helping people save money. And I would love to help you save some cash as well. We routinely help our podcast listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. It's not uncommon for us to help families save more than $1,000 a month. But how much money can you save? We can help you do all of that at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Seriously, check out our reviews and our A+ rating with the BBB at ConradReviews.com, or get yourself a quick quote right now at SaveWithConrad.com, or call us toll free 888-425-0105, or email me directly, Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, Dear Sexy, here's our second letter. Dear Sexy, my daughter is a 19-year-old college sophomore who's studying to become a teacher. Her longtime boyfriend, Arnie, is a 21-year-old part-time student who works and goes to college. He has not chosen a major yet. Sexy, Arnie is a fine young man who loves my daughter, but he doesn't have much direction and hasn't given much thought to the future. He's received little guidance from his parents, who don't seem to care if he graduates from college or not. His siblings went to work straight out of high school. This concerns me because my husband is a successful businessman and our family has a very nice lifestyle. We drive new cars, go on nice vacations, and are putting our 3 children through college. I know if my daughter marries Arnie, they probably will never be able to afford the lifestyle she's accustomed to. Should I express my concerns to my daughter and try to give Arnie some advice, or mind my own business? Signed, a loving mom.
Number one, how many fucking people know what the fuck they want to do at 21 years old, especially a dude? Number two, if you're worried about your daughter having the lifestyle, tell her to pick a fucking job besides education. Okay?
That's true.
Jesus. Go fucking teach her how to dance on a pole. She'll triple her income and fucking be all cash.
Brilliant.
That's a typical mom trying to micromanage. Well, she's going to be a teacher and you're going to fuck you. Tell her to get it. Go fucking teach, then go to law school. You know, be a lawyer. Like, if you're worried about Arnie not making enough money, maybe fucking now's the time. Maybe, Mom, you need to fucking take a fucking gander, see what fucking Arnie's got as a hog. Maybe you could fucking pimp him.
Very good. She clearly wants Arnie to be the breadwinner here because you're right, there was no discussion about what her daughter's contribution will be, just the lifestyle she feels her daughter's entitled to. Very good. Thank you, Kevin. I do want to tell you that the biggest Sunday in sports is coming up. All right, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action you're going to need, okay? It's this week. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boosts. Check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, okay? If you're on Pacific time, of course, that's going to be 3 and 6. To see what prop bet will be boosted, okay? We've already said I am comfortable at this point saying that I'm going to take the Chiefs, okay?
I'll take
same
the
thing?
Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see what I want to parlay it with. I don't know about that over-under. It's scaring me a little bit at 50. But,
I think 50 is good.
Yeah, I think
we can
I'm
go over.
just going to put some action on Mahomes, I think, and
I'm
maybe
going to go
Kelsey.
He's got that back.
You think he's going to get in the end zone? Is there a week he hasn't gotten in the end zone? I'll pick him as a touchdown scorer, maybe.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, because we'll bet it.
Because I'm going in.
Yeah.
Going down in flames. Well, that'll be my action.
I hate those fucking so-and-so get 56 yards. If it ain't Barry Sanders, I ain't betting on it. It's just like, fuck that.
I love them. I take the player prop bets. Just I think sometimes with an over-under or the spread. There's almost no spread on this game. It's 1.5 as of.
Yeah, but I mean that's I either bet straight or bet the over-under with the straight.
Oh, I thought you were going to say gay.
Or fucking
over-under. Straight.
Or pick up the fucking bar tab.
Cruising. Pick up the drinks for your
Pick up the drinks and fucking give the money to Arnie.
Well, I want everybody else to get in on the action, and DraftKings is the way you're going to do it. You're going to go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TKNP, the Kevin Nash Podcast. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TKNP. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for more details. Thank you, DraftKings. Kevin, I mentioned earlier that somebody tweeted a question about the. Oh, there it is, Scott. Is that
Scott? My weekly Scott.
Somebody asked us about certain venues. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to bring up some of the venues in your first year. I want to actually get a piece of paper here because I'm going to try and see if we can narrow down the shittiest venue that you've worked in. I'll bring up a venue. Tell me if you have a great.
I'll give it a 1. I'll give it an A through F.
A through F, right? A plus through F. And if you have a good anecdote or something, if somebody broke the Kamala sat on the toilet and broke it off or something, please do let us know. All right, first, the beginning of the year, I'm taking 95. Okay, you're a very big title year for you. Let's go on January 6th. Let's go up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, the arena. Do you recall
Yeah.
The Winnipeg Arena?
Used to stay at that hotel that had a strip joint in it.
That's very convenient for the wrestling community.
Yes. Yes. Always a good crowd. I mean, it was January. It was probably minus 70.
Oh, yeah. But the building itself.
Yeah, just kind of looks
Average.
like the looks like the Memphis Coliseum. Kind of that same architecture.
So what are we giving this?
Give it a C.
C. Very good. Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Brown County Arena.
The old one back then, fucking, I'll give it a D. When you walked through, I drove into Green Bay the first time of my life when I was wrestling. I said, I really would like to get something good to eat. She goes, Perkins right up the street. I said, fuck. No wonder Aaron Rodgers is such a dick.
How about Dallas, Texas Reunion Arena?
Oh, God, the old one fucking sucked. I'll give that
What size was that venue?
Because
Because I'm seeing here that it drew, this event
12?
drew 3,000. So
12. It was the old Dallas Mavericks before they made the American Airlines Arena. But you did, as you left it, go through Daily Plaza. To get on the highway, you had to go through Daily Plaza.
Oh,
And I would
okay.
always
Little
stop.
history there.
I'd always stop, point to the guys in the car, say, you know what that is? That's the book deposit. There's the fucking grassy knoll.
and they
I
said,
always point-
shut up and pass the joint.
They say, shut up and give me the fucking $1,700 for the fucking bar tab.
Reunion Arena, a grade.
C.
Okay. You remember the Summit in Houston?
That's Joel Osteen's church now.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Shithole, give it a D.
Okay. Corpus Christi, Texas Memorial Coliseum. This looks like it was Superstars taping here.
I wrestled Owen on that.
How the fuck do you remember that? You did. I'm looking at it right now.
D.
Diesel defeated Owen Hart, January 10th, 1995.
Because I got a good memory, man. Even with my CTE, my
Jesus.
stuttering, and my ability to...
Your cable signal's not helping you right now, but your mental faculties are okay. So when we say a D for let's take a Corpus Christi Memorial Coliseum, are we factoring in the locker room accommodations,
Overall, just the field, parking, cleanliness of the urinals. Like when you walk in and it's 6 o'clock and the bathroom looks like it has been cleaned in 3 weeks, that's, And I'm sorry, man, but you got to dump deuces where you can on the road. This isn't, I'm not one of those guys that can wait till he gets to the hotel room.
right?
Yeah, it's just like, and I'm OCD, so I got to fucking take the one fucking gimmick with soap on it, then clean the seat with soap, and then it's D.
But if you're following Mabel,
No, and then you always got the guys with like I said, with the 1 inch hose that decides he can't piss in the urinal because back in those days you didn't have the fucking the wall between the urinals, so God forbid
someone saw you schmeckle.
yeah somebody saw your 1 inch cock because you were gonna a bunch of fucking shit. It's just unbelievable how I lived that life is.
How I lived that life.
Yeah.
Well, what was worse, a basketball locker room or a wrestling locker room?
Well, basketball was always much cooler. number one, everybody back in those days, everybody wore a jock strap, so there was no meat gazing going on because everybody's shit was packed down. So
Packed up.
yeah, man, yeah.
New Haven
Looked
Coliseum.
Like a fucking moth that hit your fucking headlight. Which one? New Haven?
New Haven Coliseum, Connecticut, yes. This is the arena Vince, actually, back in the 80s, purchased.
Yeah, this is the one that kids stole the beer out of, so we'll give it a C. He was actually able to hop a fence and get a couple cases of beer after the matches were over.
Take me to Uniondale. Nassau Coliseum.
It was, I always liked it because it was gritty,
I like the rodeo right next to it. It was a
Yeah.
nice touch. Yeah, for the
I'll give Nassau a C. It was older. They hadn't been redone yet.
right.
Plus, Dr. J, Dr. J played there, so got just points on that alone.
Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now, that was my spot as a kid.
I liked it.
That's where
It was
I
decent.
attended.
That's where the Nets played
Before
they
Brooklyn.
the Barclay.
Yeah. And so a grade.
We'll give that a C.
Madison Square Garden.
A B. Parking F.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, parking F. So I guess I'm going to have to give it a C minus for overall. And before they redid it, you couldn't get a cup of coffee in that motherfucker to save your life.
Why?
I guess it was union. It cost $35. I don't know. It just fucking sucked. You couldn't get a cup of coffee. I might, Dad, walking around and seeing Elton John's picture on the wall and all that. Yeah, great. Then I came back and they redid it, and it was like you couldn't find it. It used to just be a round fucking rotunda, and you'd walk around it, and the locker rooms were the shits. Then they redid it, and it was just like, holy shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But at this time, 95, was it still...
No, 95 is shits.
Okay.
That's why
the Sun Dome in Tampa.
Teams. Sundome. Kind of a cool building. Small. Back then, anytime you were in Florida was chill because you got decent weather. Me and Brett had a Rumble match there.
This is the one. This is Royal Rumble 95.
Yeah, we had a Rumble match there.
Go about a half hour and
I like
draw.
it. I'll give it a B.
Palmetto, Florida, the Manatee Civic Center, for Christ's sake. Don't know that I've ever heard of this building.
It's like it looks. It's almost like it's small as fuck. It's a D. They got a D match. I know that.
You were with what did you do here? Oh, you pinned Jeff, who was a sub for Backlund. He was supposed to be with Backlund in I guess a return. Is this a taping? This is a Monday Night Raw taping. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
God.
At a small house like that, huh?
What? How many? Does it have the house?
Well,
on
this
it?
says a heavily papered 2,500.
Yeah, that was a shithole.
West Palm, the Auditorium.
God, all these buildings suck. C. I don't think did we run one where there was.
This was a Superstars taping.
Yeah.
I think you just did I don't think you wrestled. I think you did a promo or something.
Probably a dark match.
Fort Myers, the Lee Civic Center.
That was horrible because you couldn't do a running because you couldn't see the ring from the entrance door. It was a box. It was just it was Erie, Pennsylvania, moved to Fort Myers.
Now, in these buildings like this, where do you put 25 wrestlers in a locker room? I mean, were there like proper locker room facilities in these buildings?
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like they set them up for hockey and basketball, and you just have those little, they're like the width of my shoulders with a stool in it, and you fucking put your clothes in your bag, and you just get,
Okay. There's no attempt in '95 to keep heels and baby faces separated, right?
No, I don't think so. Not at TV tapings, because we're in a protected area. Because if somebody would walk into the locker room, that was you'd hear kayfabe. You see a bunch of guys' heads come up.
Even in '95.
Yeah.
Baltimore Arena.
I always dug Baltimore Arena. Locker rooms were okay. There was like a row that where the stage was. Behind that, there was a row of lockers that was nice. I had a picture in my bedroom when I was a kid of Elvin Hayes shooting a jump shot from the corner of the Baltimore Arena when they were the Baltimore Bullets, and you can see they were shooting on the stage end. So like that, I remember the first time I walked in there. But the Baltimore, the Maryland Commission, oh Jesus! I mean, they did everything except give you a pap smear.
Really?
Pains in the ass. You couldn't get color.
Taking it seriously in '95.
Yeah.
When everyone but them knows it's a work.
All those commission states, it was boxing and wrestling, like it's the two of the same.
What would you give Baltimore for a grade?
I'll give it a C.
All right. Where are you next? Montreal Forum.
I had my last WWE match. My ladder match with Triple H was at the Baltimore Arena. Imagine when I found out that you're going to have a ladder match. You're 55, your knees don't work, and you can't get color. So there's no fucking smoke and mirrors. There's not shit. Have a nice day.
Should have opted for a Falls Count Anywhere or something.
Yeah, it was tables, ladders, and chairs.
How about Montreal? Montreal Forum?
The old one or the new one?
'95 would have been the old.
The old one was. I like the old one. The old. I'm an original six guy anyway. When it goes to hockey, so I always liked the old Forum. Crowds were. I love Montreal. That's one of my favorite cities in the world, and I loved both the forums. I think the Elimination Chamber is in Montreal.
Was it? Okay.
Some of the
history, the Habs, some of the history.
Yeah.
What would you give it?
The Rocket. I'll give it a 4.
A letter.
Oh, a B.
A B. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, apparently there was a very bad snowstorm this year. Boston was canceled. Portland was canceled. Fall River, Providence, Connecticut, and Worcester, all canceled.
We got stuck up in Montreal. So here's the story. We got stuck up in Montreal. We're in a hotel room, and there was a strip joint right up the street from the hotel. So we get all the dancers come back.
We're all
partying in the thing, and so Sean talks to Vince. I talk to Vince. Scott talks to Vince, and kid Sean Waltman talks to Vince. He goes, "Hold on, somebody wants to talk to you." "Hello, Mr. McMahon." It's one of the dancers.
Cheeky? Oh.
It was one of the dancers,
Sounded like Chic.
Well, my brain wasn't ready to do a French girl. I'm still pissed off at Paul Anka. So, fucking tool. So, he says, put Sean back on. D, can you hear me? We're both like this on the phone. He goes, you guys need to get to Boston. Like, what? You guys need to get to Boston. They fucking took us. We got our bags. Cab picked us up. Sean and I were in the engine of the fucking train going to Boston. Like, we're actually in the engine.
Oh,
like
he sent
where
you by
the
train.
He sent us by train. We had a sleeper car, and we had beer. I think we had like a case of beer, and we ate a couple of fried steaks in the dining car, and then they stopped to do something. So we said, "Let us." I wanted to get. I've never been in the the engine before. And so we're in the engine, and it's kind of cool because with that big light, it was snowing like fuck. And I went to the Celtics game and got hammered, and Sean had to do something in Sanford, but they got us out of there. The rest of the boys got to have fun. We got fucking kiboshed.
Excellent. Amazing you remember such detail.
Hey guys, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Need to call a timeout real quick here. I wanted to tell your listeners what I've been telling my world listeners for a while now. It's about all the incredible things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
Looking for classic Royal Rumble content? Ad Free Shows has you covered. First up, honorary DX member Kurt Angle watches back his favorite match of all time against Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble 2003.
Wasn't real smooth. This was a choppy match. It was like we were working for moves. We were working for holds. It wasn't like it was really a clean match, but that's what made it so good. It was ugly and it was choppy and it wasn't like a smooth move that you do all, nice and clean all the way through or a smooth spot. This match was like gritty, and that's what I loved most about it. It was more of a fight than it was a wrestling match.
For the first time ever, JR watches back the final WWF pay-per-view before he joined the company, the 1993 Royal Rumble, which featured many Hall of Famers and, well, Virgil.
All right, next up, we got the man, the myth, the legend, JR. One and only Virgil.
There he comes.
Meat sauce, the lonely autograph table, the whole deal.
That's him. Virgil's not known for many things. One of them, though, is his penis, allegedly. I don't think it's going to be this Royal Rumble experience, but I could be wrong.
If you're looking for interactive experiences, Ad Free Shows members joined Hacksaw Jim Duggan live, 35 years to the day of his historic win at the very first Royal Rumble.
In wrestling, as going way back as a kid, I live in upstate New York, up by Vermont. My dad would bring me and my sisters in Madison Square Garden to watch the circus. So to only imagine, bring my dad, who was my best man, to pull up in front of Madison Square Garden and see Hacksaw Duggan versus Andre the Giant.
Hey, that's just a small taste of what Ad Free Shows has waiting for you, including a brand new perk, getting to join in on the live recordings of the shows with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why Ad Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com. That's right, sign up today at adfreeshows.com.
Philly Spectrum.
Shit. Oh.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me why. Locker
Dirty,
rooms?
old. Yeah, just
dirty,
old.
That's a D, it sounds like.
Just because it's the Spectrum and the people were such assholes, I'll give it a C.
Okay. Cincinnati, Ohio, Cincinnati Gardens.
Oh, God. Old school, light over the top of the ring, big fucking, I give that a A.
An A?
Yes. Cincinnati Gardens was like going back to 1950 in wrestling.
for the vibe.
The vibe was just fucking unbelievable.
Could you get a cup of coffee there?
Yeah.
Okay. The Palace at Auburn Hills.
And a little puppy love. I always liked Auburn Hills because I got number one, I got to see my family, but that was a newer building at that time, and good locker rooms, spacious, clean. NBA.
Of course, yeah.
Were
any of the Pistons wrestling fans? Like, did you get?
No, I would never. Because we run the same time. That time of year they're on the road
true.
too. So, yeah. Last thing they want to do is come fucking to Auburn Hills and get fucked with.
Macon, Georgia, the Coliseum.
I think probably when Little Richard was there was probably a nice building, but Jesus, I don't think they did any. I don't even think they painted it since then. I'll give that a D. Go fuck itself.
What did you give the Palace? We need to give that a grade.
I'll give it a B.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Getting to some obscure ones now, like the
Must be going
North
to TVs.
Charleston. Oh, the Charlotte Coliseum in South Carolina. This isn't North Charleston, South Carolina, Charlotte Coliseum.
No, it's in North Charleston. It's North Charleston Coliseum. It's the one that's kind of out in the hood. It's all right. It's just another square. Looks like a hockey rink. I'll give it a C.
Market Square Arena in Indy.
Kind of a cool building. It was big. I think we actually used to have to partition that off with a big curtain. That was the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
Of the ABA, that was their home.
Didn't they do that with the Palace with the big curtain too?
No.
In Auburn Hill? No. Okay.
No.
For some reason I'm seeing
that was when they used to use the Pontiac Silverdome.
Ah, that's it. The Silverdome.
The
'cause
football.
It was like
yeah.
80,000 seats or whatever.
Yeah.
So what would you give Market Square Arena? Did you like that?
Oh, yeah. I'll give it a B.
Okay. Chicago, the United Center.
A. Scott and I were the first. The SummerSlam was the first event in that building. In the United Center.
On this night, you wrestle Bam Bam. So it was a newer building, so that obviously nice accommodations and all that
it
stuff.
was brand new.
You mentioned this earlier, Valparaiso, Indiana, the athletic center.
I was on the way home, out to the airport. Yeah, that was same as it was a smaller college basketball arena that just you couldn't turn the lights off.
Got it. Portland, Maine, Cumberland County Civic Center.
Kind of a dive. Give it a D.
All right. Phoenix, Arizona, America West Arena.
I'll give it a B. They still use that. Suns still use that.
Right. Well, it must have been new at that time, right?
Yeah, it was newer. Yeah.
Anaheim, Arrowhead Pond, another newer building.
That was a newer building. Give it a B.
Very good. Fresno. I don't know the name of the building. I just have the
That's a square building on Fresno State. What do we have there? Didn't we have a Rumble there or something?
Yeah, you might have.
We did it one time.
This was 9,000, this particular event. You and Razor beat Sean and Jeff. Grade for Fresno?
9,000 shit. I'll give it a B.
All right. Here's a big one. Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto.
This was the old Brown building. Fucking brutal.
With the ramp, right?
I give it a D. Look like fucking someplace that would sell pretzels. Like a pretzel factory is what it looked like when you pulled up to it. I was never.
How about the Joe in Detroit?
I'll give that a B.
That wasn't an old broken down at that point in time?
But it was always, the crowds were always good. It was just, energy was good. That was like Rosemont, like
Rosemont Horizon.
The Rosemont in Chicago was a building you wanted to wrestle in. You wanted to wrestle in the Joe. You didn't want to wrestle in Auburn Hills.
Gotcha. Landover, Maryland?
God, that's when Brett and I had the Survivor Series there.
I think it's called U.S. Air at this time.
Yeah, U.S. Air Arena. C.
Cleveland, Gund Arena?
Gun was not. That was brand new. I'll give that B plus. Great locker rooms.
Poughkeepsie, remember the Mid-Hudson Civic Center?
Yeah, I'll give it a C.
No, they didn't have a real locker room, right?
No, they had upstairs. They had one shower, one pisser. And one pisser, one shitter combo, and you had like 40 guys for TV.
Yeah, that was a Raw.
Yeah, that was fucking.
All right, we have a lot here, so let me go down my list here, and here's what we've compiled. You didn't give anything an F, so obviously either the buildings they were running were obviously up to par enough.
F's pretty hard. F would be, one of those Brooklyn UAWs where or fucking American Legion places that don't have showers. Those get F's. But there was I remember one time at WCW we ran in Starkville, Mississippi, we ran a rodeo facility. The ring was on the dirt in the middle of the fucking, and you walked on pallets, wooden pallets, out to the fucking ring. And when you came back, there was a 2x4 that was like 6.5 feet above the ground. It had a V cut in it and a garden hose duct taped. And that was the shower.
For a shower.
And then on the table, they had bottles of rubbing alcohol and rolls of paper towels. And you would rinse yourself off and then throw the rubbing alcohol on you to get the sludge off you, and then dry yourself with the paper towels.
What city was this?
Starkville, Mississippi.
Wow.
There was one also in New Mexico like that.
What was that fucking payday? I'm sure it was worth it.
I'm sure it was.
I didn't ask you the Boston Garden. I can't.
The old one. I mean, the old one. Just because, see, it's hard for me to like diss something when you're a basketball fan and you're in the Garden.
Right, it has history. Sure.
But at the same time, motherfucker, man, it was 140 degrees in those locker rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was a shithole.
Average out to like a B, maybe.
I'd give it a fucking C minus.
Okay.
Plus, it had that old wooden ramp up to it. Remember that? In the back, there was this wooden ramp that looked like
the entrance. The rear entrance. Yes.
For the boys, and when it snowed, it was kind of fucking steep. And if you had your fucking cowboy boots on, trying to fucking have a little fever going, you could fucking take a spill.
Right.
So, fuck that place.
So I have a lot of D's. Again, no F's. So our D's were the Green Bay
Broome County, whatever the hell. The Summit, Corpus Christi Memorial, Palmetto, Florida, Fort Myers, Lee Civic Center, Macon, Georgia Coliseum, Portland, Maine, Cumberland County, was that?
No, Bangor, Maine would have got a B because that was cool because it had like one side, like a normal side, like a high school, and then the other side went like to the fucking rafters. There's probably like 4,500 people on one side. The bleachers went way up. So that was kind of a cooler building. Bangor, Maine was a cool building.
And then the other side was less fans.
In Lewistown that was always a cool building because that's where Clay and Liston fought when nobody would take the fight. It was the same with the old Miami Convention Center. Like some of those older buildings, man, would have history and they'd have fight history, so they'd be cool.
Yeah.
A lot of them were just old shitholes that you just went.
But you overlook that to say this is where Ali fought, right? And you're
that's I mean
standing in the ring with the same point of view that he had,
And that was always the thing, you know, that if it was a fighting arena, it just had that aura to it.
Yeah.
You knew somebody spilled some blood in that motherfucker.
Exactly. So you gave 2 A's. The Chicago United Center, which was new at the time, and Cincinnati Gardens. That got your A's.
Two completely different buildings. I think the Cincinnati Gardens might be torn down. Steve, is it torn down? Somebody told me they tore the Cincinnati Gardens down. The other one that was kind of cool was that it was the Louisville Gardens. And they were trying to redo that, but Ali fought there.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I gotta find pictures of that venue in Mississippi.
Fuck.
Anyone's got home video on YouTube, gotta see what that setup was. Torn down in March 2018. Demolition began with the crews. Bill Eadie? Fucking Barry Darso on the crew. All these great buildings, man. All these historic buildings get fucking torn down.
When I used to drive to my uncle's house in Kentucky, we would always drive by Old Crosby Field. That's where the Reds played, and you could see it from the interstate. I don't even know if it might have been fucking Telegraph Road, US 24 that went by it, because I don't think I-75 was done at this time. But you could see, I remember going by one night, and the Reds were actually playing, and Crosby Field was like those old fields that all of the it looked like a minor league field where all the outfield walls had ads on them and shit.
Yeah.
It was cool though. I mean, it was Major League Park, but just the fact that it was the Reds.
Yeah, and I love old buildings and stuff, and
and I hate when they tear that shit down, man. It's just...
Me too. I wish I could have hit more of those. Well, you're in the perfect profession to be able to do that, obviously, and
I hit a lot
into all the other sports and where championships were won, and just to stand in the Boston Garden, my God, must have been.
Well, you know, and I've told this story before, but I don't know if I have on the show. But they came to us, and I was wrestling Sid. And they said, hey, would you guys like to go on last? And Sid's like, hell no, man, I want to get the fuck out of here. I said, no, man, I want to go on last because we were the last wrestling match ever to go on in the old Boston Garden. It was me versus Sid.
Oh.
I said, no, man, this is everybody that's been anybody in our business has wrestled in the Boston Garden. And we're going to be the last two. I said, no, I'll take that as long as I can be the first one eliminated in the elimination chamber. Fucking shit worked out.
Listen, the wait is over. Quality steak is here. Free shipping, period. Quality steak, free shipping. Backyard Butchers restaurant quality steak boxes are now available online. I got mine. Kev got his.
I devoured mine.
My opening. Yeah, it didn't stand a damn chance. Great steakhouse quality, bulk meat specials, responsibly sourced from America Farms, okay, delivered right to your door. And right now, for a limited time, Backyard Butchers is offering our listeners 15% off, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life with every subscription. Imagine opening up a box of high-quality steak, being able to recreate the steakhouse experience right there in your backyard, on your grill, wherever you cook. That's exactly what's going to happen when you order from Backyard Butchers, okay? I cooked the fillets right away. First day I got them. Family loved them. They're great quality. Cut out the middleman. Grocery stores, you're getting responsibly sourced 100% American beef, pork, and chicken sourced from farms all across the heartland of America. It comes fresh, safely packed, ice packed, delivered to your door in an eco-friendly insulated box. Their boxes and packing are specially designed to keep your meat within the optimal temperature range. They know what the hell they're doing. No memberships or subscriptions are necessary, but if you do choose to subscribe, you can cancel anytime. Try them once. You're going to want to subscribe, okay? You're going to want to reorder. The taste, the quality, the ease of ordering, it's what makes Backyard Butchers stand out. Remember, for a limited time, they're offering listeners of this podcast a special introductory deal. That's 15% off, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life. How do you do it? This is how you do it. You're going to visit backyardbutchers.com. You're going to use promo code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q. You're going to get 15% off, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life. That's backyardbutchers.com, promo code KLIQ. Thank you, Backyard Butchers. All right, we're back. Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. We promise you an audience with Kevin every week. Doesn't talk to many people. I had somebody ask me today, hey, would Kev be willing to go on this podcast? It's a movie podcast and talk about Magic Mike. I said he's probably not going to. He didn't even call Adam Carolla back when his agent offered him. He said, if you want to hear me speak, this is where you hear me speak. And
no, but Adam Carolla went. We don't have a lot in common anymore.
No, I know, but the high-profile gig is what I'm saying, and fans, you should feel lucky that Kevin chooses to talk to you.
Like I give 2 fucks.
David Parker, at any point after WWE purchased WCW, was bringing the Kliq together as an on-screen faction ever discussed. Seeing the Kliq turn on the rest of DX and NWO members and get the band back together and dominate would have just been too sweet. Anyone propose that?
No, I was too busy tearing my quad.
So no discussion of that.
I've always thought that was money.
Yeah, I think so. Fernham Schnavitz III, I watched the Rumble. The most impressive guy I've seen for years is Bobby Lashley. How is he not the guy? Guy's a beast. Your thoughts?
He just, I love Bobby. He's a sweetheart. He just always seems to be missing something. I don't know what it is. It's just
the promo.
Maybe I just don't. I think he comes across to me like he is a nice guy. He's not a killer. Bobby Lashley's just not a killer. He's a nice fucking guy. And where Brock Lesnar, who's a nice guy, he just has that something in him that
danger.
Yeah, like Bobby Lashley would if you said, "Please, I've had enough," I think Bobby would stop. I think Brock would stop you 2 more times.
Right. Ryan from the gym. Hey, is there a Kliq This recommended colostrum brand? Thanks.
He's scrolling some of Amazon's choices.
Can we look up? I think it's called Armada, Armada. Can we look that up? That's what I take. That's that orange drink that I always have. It's in this thing I'm drinking right now.
Someone asked about that too. I don't know if I have a question here, but what the exact drink was. So that's Armada.
It's called Armada. I know it's on Instagram. It's a little pricey, but it's made my hair grow. My skin's gotten better. I've added almost
good skin. I have to take this, the Armada.
I've almost added 1.5 inches to my shaft.
Oh, nice. Well, I can't be that. That would get me at 16.5, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Nicola.
If you use one of those circus the guy that blows the fucking gimmick to tie you'll have to use that as a condom.
Nicola. In one of your earlier shows, you said your neighbor was building a fence. Has he finished yet?
Fuck no. He turned out, man, to be a great guy. I mean, he's a great guy. He's a Northeasterner. Fucking, he's the shit, man. He's got it pretty much done. But it's like, I'll take a picture.
I was going to say, would he appreciate if we did like every week a photo update of how far the fence has gone?
Oh, so my wife and her girlfriend walked along the beach today, and I haven't done it in a while because it's so depressing. My wife said like even more of the houses are falling in the ocean. Because because
the supports are gone.
And and every day the fucking tide comes in and takes more sand out, and they've taken down, like they've backed, they bring shit, like there's a couple houses they've just torn down, and I don't see how you can rebuild because you have to have so much of a setback, and everybody on the ocean lost about 40 feet of their lot.
Yeah.
So looks like fucking. It's so fucking depressing, and it's just like you just see people's clothes on hangers, like laying in the sand, and I'm just like, man, if that was me, I'd probably stick it now. Never mind.
You probably what? Oh fuck! Don't go. Okay. OIF.
Probably stick a thermometer in my mouth to make sure my temperature wasn't going too high, because I want to live to 191 years old, look like Paul Anka, and still be a cocksucker.
OIF 07 vet. Is this a code like for? Is this a military thing? I was trying to figure out his.
What is this?
His thing up there. It says 09 vets. I didn't know if it was a military. His name. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, he said he created a Twitter account just to participate in Ask Nash. I tried using the hashtag on other platforms, blah, blah, blah. So, Vince's music plays, except it's spoken in Arabic. He walks out in full Muslim garb doing the billionaire strut. Best heel 2023? Listen, vet, you have no idea what you didn't see a few weeks ago, okay?
Yeah.
I had McMahon as the best heel of 2023.
I had myself fucking asking Tony Khan if I could stop by the next taping in the Jacksonville area. Jesus.
Check on those royalties. Fuck. Heidi, I was wondering if you could do a segment, add a segment to the podcast, something like Suggestions from Big Sexy, where Kev gives either a movie, book, album, match, or song to check out each week. Let's kick it off right now for Heidi. Give us one recommendation that we have to do this week. Movie, book, song, whatever.
I'm going to give you a couple. So last night I watched the Pam Anderson autobiography on Netflix, or biography or whatever. Really fucking sad. I mean, really sad. Just so that's one thing. I just finished watching Breaking Bad. Excellent. And I'd never watched El Camino, which is the follow-up. So I watched El Camino.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. White Lotus. I highly recommend both seasons 1 and 2
Both
of
seasons.
White Lotus. Music. Let me think. I don't know if you listen to Sade. Do you listen to Sade? She just turned 63.
Me? I know who she is. She's a smooth operator, I'll tell you that, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I saw her at the Fox Theater. This girl brought me. She said, "Why you want to go see Sade?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fan." At the end of the night, man, I just like, she's like, "Let's go back." I'm like, "No, sorry. I'm going to go home and jerk to Sade." If I can work yourself out of some dick, baby.
Let that be a lesson to any women looking to take their boyfriend to see Sade.
Don't do it. I don't care if she's 62, 63, whatever she is. She went to
those are
prison.
recommendations. Sade?
Yeah,
she prison?
She went to prison. Didn't she stab her boyfriend or some shit? Steve, can we?
It's kinda
yeah,
hot.
Wesley,
Suddenly hotter.
that's love making music. He knows. Wesley knows.
Yes.
Diamond Mine.
This is no ordinary.
Ordinary
That was her,
love.
right?
Yeah.
Listen to us. I'm getting
give
amorous. I have to get off the air here. I gotta go stick this somewhere.
Can we look up that? Didn't Sade do some kind of passion?
Let's see.
Crime?
Sade, jail.
Passion crime.
Arrest warrant issued for Sade in Jamaica after she missed a hearing. Oh, reckless driving. No.
That's not it. I thought she had something she did with it, like a lover's quarrel.
Okay, yeah, let's see. Sade.
I thought she
This might be it.
stabbed Paul Anka.
No, this is someone else.
I'm saying, everybody's saying they don't say anything.
Yeah, I'm seeing some reckless driving, but
God,
that's about it.
Oh, I know what it was. Fuck, I didn't press charges. I wouldn't give her any dick, and she stabbed me. That's what it was. My bad.
At the concert, you just left with the broad.
Yeah,
You didn't.
CTE.
Well, at least we got some recommendations there from Kevin. Let me remind everyone that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristen Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristen Nash, copyright 2023, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, want to do another one?
We have to because...
We have to fix your camera. My God, it's frozen. And you turned into me the first 5 weeks of the show.
I don't know why.
It's not you. It's Spectrum. But what was your reason to do it?
To do it?
You said we have to do another one because haven't found any documents there yet.
Oh, so anyway, so when this ends and it says 4T, that song is that's Tristan singing, and it's
right. I didn't know what it was called. A lot of people were asking.
It's Sophia, and what it is he wrote it, and it's Sophia is both he and I are huge Vanilla Sky fans, and Sophia was, if you remember, that was Cruz's the girl. What's her name? She was in Blow.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, Penelope Cruz. I can't say Cruz because Tom Cruise is in the fucking movie. But it's Penelope Cruz's name, and so that's where he sang it from.
There you go, guys. There's the info.
The
builders, Sophia.
Yeah, the builders. I never get to hear it. So it's like I actually watched the show the other night, and I got to hear it. It was nice to.
We're good, huh? We were entertaining, weren't we?
Yeah, I thought we were entertained, and there wasn't a bunch of. I don't know if you do this. If you say, I'm not sure. That's not stuttering. Do something with that. That's stuttering. All right, you stupid motherfuckers. But for the rest of you that love us, we love you back.